everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew podcasting network. And this is my weekly show where my guest and I each pick a film related in some shape or form. And hopefully by the end of this episode, you have two films to go check out. And joining me is our fearless leader here at the SPDM Crew podcasting network. It's Mike Hilty.
Hello, how's it going?
I want one of these days for you to actually show up dressed as fearless leader from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
One day.
That popped in my head because I just did a reel. My on Tuesdays I do reels of actors and like actor spotlights, and it was Robert De Niro, and I just get that fearless leader.
That's of all the things for Robert De Niro to just pop up on. That was a choice.
It
And
was a choice.
That was definitely when he, wasn't just a parody of himself. Could you argue that potentially that was the beginning of the end?
Well, that was the beginning of the new millennium, which kind of was the beginning of the end. Because like that took me forever going through. Like he had 120 acting credits, and like I'm going through and snipping out pictures, and I'm like almost every single movie because I only picked the ones that like I really liked the performance in. And then I got to the 2000, and then it just like and jumped a lot. Like Silver Linings Playbook, Irishman. But we are not here to talk about Bobby De Niro, or Italians for that matter. We're here to talk about martial arts, karate, kung fu. We are here to do a double dose. We got Enter the Dragon from 1973. We got some Bruce Lee, which Mike had picked, and I chose to pick another martial arts master, Jackie Chan, and we're going to be talking about Drunken Master. So let's start with the Enter the Dragon. A Shaolin martial artist travels to an island fortress to spy on an opium lord who is also a former monk from his temple under the guise of attending a fighting tournament, aka it's Mortal Kombat.
That is the only thing I could think of upon rewatching this. And it's so funny because I feel like there's just some scenes that just kind of are taken directly from this in the first Mortal Kombat movie, the cinematic gem of the mid-90s. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Some of these are just straight up from Enter the Dragon.
Yes, mid-90s Mortal Kombat, the only film from Paul W.S. Anderson that I care to watch, because it is an absolute delight. Indeed, got its whole entire plot, and maybe even just the idea of Mortal Kombat to begin with came from Enter the Dragon. But Mike, what were some of your general thoughts outside of Mortal Kombat when it came to Enter the Dragon?
No, that was it. Just Mortal Kombat. I just thought of the Mortal Kombat theme song. I just thought of just random people that I played Mortal Kombat with and just how frustrated I would get. No, in reality, I think the thing that just kind of strikes me is that, boy, Bruce Lee, just one of those one of a kind performers that we're just never going to get again. And it sucks because just the way that he died just sucks a lot, because if he died the way that he did, there's no hope for some of us out there. But beyond that, I found this really intriguing with just the tournament style of this, how this is not just a fighting movie, this is also like a secret mission as well to try to take down this drug lord. The added bonus that, of course, this drug lord also used to be part of the same like organization temple that Bruce Lee's character is also part of. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And killed his sister.
Of course. Can't forget about that. But
Layers.
oh,
Like
of course, of
we
course.
got layers.
Well, I would much rather have layers upon layers of stuff as opposed to it just being like a ridiculous tournament. Which, granted, yes, at the end of the day, Mortal
I
Kombat is
don't
just a
think so.
so yeah, I just rewatching this again and just the fight choreography is great.
Mhm.
Um the final fight at the end I found a bit anticlimactic a little bit, but other than that, solid all around.
But mirrors,
Of course, mirrors.
which
Can't forget about
also
that.
obviously, if you've watched John Wick Chapter 2, you know they watched Enter the Dragon.
Of course.
Because mirrors.
Hmm.
Um, this film is very interesting in the fact that like this is a classic martial arts film,
Hmm.
but this is not like I'm gonna quote paraphrase uh Steve Morris from the Cinephiles, because Steve Morris has spent a lot of time doing actual martial arts and stuff like that. And he's a huge martial arts movie fan, but he's also like a directing professor
Hmm.
at like UCLA, and admits a lot of these films are not good films.
No,
Like
no,
if you
God
look at it
no.
from that perspective, no. But damn, the martial arts is awesome.
The martial
And
arts in this is fantastic.
I would like to speak for both of us, a couple of thick boys. Hats off to Bruce Lee, who is
Mm,
who was insanely just ripped, chiseled,
he
just
is
like
cut, cut.
cut. It's just like, wow, this is what a human body with 0% body fat and just lean muscle looks like.
Right.
And Bruce Lee was a charismatic man for sure. Just, I'm a pro wrestling fan, and a lot of people on Twitter like to throw out aura. Bruce Lee has it.
Yes, he
He
does.
just, the confidence, the line delivery, the physicality of it all, and just how he just shredded through minions
Hmm.
in this is just absolutely incredible. He has a, like you said, he's a one of a kind talent. He and like this isn't like him doing stunt, like he did this stuff. He was an actual martial artist
Hmm.
doing all these things. Now, the revenge plot adds emotional weight. We get that, adds a little depth. There's very little actual narrative structure to this movie because it's just show up at a tournament and you have Bruce Lee, you have John Saxon, and you have Jim Kelly,
Yep.
who are all just like Roper and Williams are just like, oh, there's other dudes that are they also protagonists? Why are we spending time with them? I thought this was a Bruce Lee movie. It kind of felt that way, honestly.
Yes, that is very true.
And like, were they just padding runtime? Like, did we really need to spend time with these two? So like, they weren't the
Mhm.
most interesting characters. Like, obviously, I think Jim Kelly had some good charisma. John Saxon, though, Roper was just kind of like, what's with the white dude here?
Yeah, that one of these is not like the other, and
Correct.
you are completely out of place in this. And that's okay because even you look at other martial arts esque tournament
Mhm.
styled movies. So setting aside Mortal Kombat, the cinematic gem that it is, but then you even have things like Bloodsport, The Quest, all
Mhm.
those different types. There's always one fighter. It's like, how did you get here? Like, what's up? Like,
For
who did you bribe to get here?
the cinematic gem of arm wrestling over the top starring Sylvester Stallone from the 1980s.
Can't forget about that one. My
Yep.
mistake.
But like you have Han, who is
Mhm.
our antagonist, who, as we discussed earlier, has layers to why he's an interesting antagonist to Bruce Lee in this. Dude also has interchangeable hand that
Yeah.
he can put like claws and knives and all kinds of stuff with.
But of course he does. They're like, what better way to identify someone as a villain than some type of sharp object that gets put in a hand?
Well, they did indeed go to the James Bond school for coming up with villains.
Mhm.
As I just recently rewatched Doctor No in his black metal hands and his Nehru jacket,
Mhm.
um, who then slips into a vat of like hot boiling stuff, and he can't grip because he has metal hands. But like this, I I thought the ending fight had some really cool set design and stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that whole mirror room had some great tension and stuff like that. But you are right, he just straight up like whack. He's like
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, that's about it. Which at the end of the day, is that going to ruin the experience for me? No, because at the end of the day, I'm here to watch Bruce Lee fuck some people up. And
Yep,
that is exactly what I got. And
and we got
what
that.
what more could I ask for with that? Not a whole lot, because not only does he fight really well, but the guy can actually act a little bit as well. And I appreciated that. And although you mentioned that, yeah, the narrative structure isn't great in this, it's a little loose and it's a little comical getting from like point A to point B in this from a narrative structure. I can't deny that like I still had a grin ear to ear the whole time
Mhm.
rewatching this, knowing full well that as long as I can get from fight to fight and just watch some cool choreography, which you compare the choreography in something like this to what we get today, that's just cut, 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 like all the time. And people who clearly are doing this based on choreography alone and
Mhm.
don't have a whole lot of martial arts skill per se. It's a dying art. Martial
Mhm.
arts dying art. Yeah. But it's just something that we don't get very often. And when we do, we should celebrate that. By like, for example, I don't know, giving stunt people Oscars, like we should be doing stuff like that.
Now, Mike, are you really bringing up the discussion of a stunt Oscar when why the hell hasn't there been this since the beginning?
Oh yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So
Let
I
me Shane, let
okay.
me let me let me tell you this. If Barbie and Wicked could get a fucking Golden Globe for box office achievement, we can give one Oscar to stunt people. Like honestly.
I would just like to say it is an absolute travesty that when they eventually do make this an Oscar, they better go back and give one to The Matrix and all four goddamn John Wick movies.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes, just
Yeah.
yes. And
Yeah.
obviously Chad Stahelski knows what he's doing in
Hmm.
terms of directing action. And John Wick Chapter 4 had some amazing gun fu that was just chef's kiss. And also on top of that, it had Haruki Sanada and also Donnie Yen in it. So like you're getting some legit stuff. But like you're right, there you have the Donnie Yens out there and stuff like that. And even Jackie Chan's still doing some stuff. But like this was a different time. This was some peak the 1970s martial arts films as we transition into Drunken Master from 1978, starring Jackie Chan. And this film focuses on Wong is a mischievous yet righteous young man, but after a series of incidents, his frustrated father has him disciplined by a master of drunken martial arts. So what's crazy is I think the first time I ever saw Drunken Master form was a Virtual Fighter
Yeah.
because there is specifically a one of the characters
Uh,
definitely does Drunken Master form for sure. I have a fun question when we're done talking about this movie, but we'll get there. But Mike, what were your general thoughts on Drunken Master?
The dialogue in this is not good. It is wildly, wildly offensive by today's standards. Um, that aside, however, um, it was good to see baby Jackie Chan.
Yes.
Boy, he looks really young, and
Mhm.
boy, is he nimble. Let me tell you. And it's kind of funny because with the contrast between Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, in terms of just their acting careers, where
Mhm.
Bruce Lee kind of stuck a little bit more in the serious route, and Jackie Chan has a little bit more of a comedy
Yep.
background. But this isn't to say that Jackie Chan doesn't know how to do the hard hitting
Mhm.
drama stuff as well. So I, watching this, there were a lot of scenes in this where it's like, oh, this is where some of this, some of these references from some of these other movies are from.
Mhm.
And I give Jackie Chan and the guy that plays his master
Yep.
a lot of credit because the whole thing of drunk fighting,
Mhm.
that could have been that could have looked really stupid. And at times, I'm not gonna lie, it does look kind of stupid. But
But so
the
damn fun.
it is so damn fun, and the physical nature
Yes.
that all of these martial artists had to do to act drunk and still make it semi believable that like this fighting style is legit. I gotta tip my hat to them for that, because that was the one thing that like for me stood out about
Mhm.
this, and how I wasn't really expecting Jackie Chan's character to just be a straight up asshole for like the first like solid third of this movie.
Yes.
And but then it's like, oh, this master, he's just trying to like get him to realize, hey, you know, don't be such an asshole to people. And particularly, Thunderfoot is such a fantastic villain name.
Yes.
I love that so much. And I also love how Thunderfoot like fucks everyone up.
Yep.
And it's not until the end when Jackie Chan unlocks the eight secret, or the eight lessons or the eight secrets of the drunken gods, where he finally figures everything out, um and somehow beats Thunderfoot. Because I'm sorry, no, ain't nobody beating Thunderfoot in anything, because he's got the power of money for being a hired gun as an assassin.
Seto Kaiba. Screw the rules. I have money.
The dialogue in this was like, it's bad enough that I had to watch this dubbed, but it's even
Yeah, the
worse.
dubbing is terrible.
The
The
dubbing
dubbing
is
and
terrible.
English dialogue is trash.
Yeah.
Which also, what I've noticed is a lot, at least, I'm not going to say a lot, the early Jackie Chan films that I have seen, he's an asshole
He is a
in
real
them.
asshole.
And Wong is an asshole in this. He's
Mhm.
such a jerk. And he gets owned by his auntie.
Oh, and I,
Hilarious.
I think I think for me, the funnier part of that sequence is not so much when she messes him up with martial arts. It's when she messes everything up for him, like just when he's at his dad's house, and he she knows she has him.
Mhm.
She's like, I'm going to end you, and she just like dangles him for a while before eventually just going in for the kill shot. Like, yeah.
Eviscerating him
Mhm.
uh emotionally. Um and dad just like disappointment, dishonorable.
Dis-
Get that out of my house.
Mhm.
And that's the whole start. And then, he's an asshole and he goes on this journey to find appreciation. I love Kung Fu Panda so much, and the fact that like Poe's trying to learn like all the different disciplines and stuff like that. And this has like obviously that got a lot of its energy from movies like this, where it's just like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna learn the eight masters of drunken martial arts and like all those kinds of things. And it's like the mythology of it's a lot of fun if you think
Mhm.
about it.
No,
And
I completely agree
Yeah,
with that. Yeah.
Jackie Chan's physical comedy is unmatched. He is Buster Keaton today.
Mhm.
He is Charlie Chaplin today. Jackie Chan not only is absolutely hilarious with all of his physicality, but also really convincing fighter,
Mhm.
which is the cool thing. And there's some wild fights in this, like the Iron Head guy. That fight was so crazy. Them just
Mhm.
fighting this guy who has like an indestructible head. I'm surprised he's not a Samoan. Based off of what I've learned from watching professional wrestling for decades. Um,
Mhm.
like those different scenes, and they come up with creative fights.
Yes.
All of the choreography is so damn creative and intricate and so well planned out and
Mhm.
everything. I love his dynamic with his master, which I think it's Shi Tin Yun who plays his master.
Mhm.
Um, and they just have this great dynamic. We get a training montage. Because you can't have a movie like this without a montage.
No, no, of course not.
No, that's what we learned from Team America World Police is you always got to have a montage. Um, and the whole act of like when his master's fighting and he's not drunk and he's like, "Where's the wine?" It's like him desperately trying to get it, like straight up, straight up. This movie is Popeye the Sailor Man, and
Mhm.
instead of spinach,
It's
they
wine.
need they
Yeah.
need their wine.
Mhm.
They need that Chinese wine. Um, it's just their dynamic makes it worth it because yes, he is a really hard protagonist to like for like 2/3 of this movie, and he just throws out like the word and like all kinds of stuff about women and all kinds of people. It's just like, damn, this guy is despicable.
A little bit.
And yep, and that final fight though was so damn good. That's like obviously like I don't pay a lot of attention to like martial arts or even like mixed martial arts, but I am a pro wrestling fan. This felt like a WrestleMania main event
Mhm.
going down. This was an epic altercation.
Well, the between between the fight with Thunderfoot and Wong's dad,
Yep.
which that could have ended catastrophically, which
Yes.
thankfully it didn't. But then you have the angle of Thunderfoot has already beaten Wong once, and
Mhm.
then you have Jackie Chan has, gained the power of, Drunken Master. And now he's learned that, all he needs to do to be successful is to be drunk. Um,
Mhm.
and to me, this felt like a satisfying ending, like, because this fight goes on forever.
Yes. This is like a 20-minute fight at the end of this movie, and I was all about it.
I agree. But, and it's not like Wong or like Jackie Chan just like turned it on at like a random time and just all of a
Mhm.
sudden began like they were going at it for like a long time, and it kind of makes me wonder a little bit because I mentioned before the stylistic differences for acting between Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, and it kind of makes me wonder if Bruce Lee would ever get to a point where he's like, okay, I'll try the comedy route, or I'll try the kids movie route. Like we're never gonna know that,
Yeah.
or would Bruce Lee just would Bruce Lee be one of like the main bad guys in John Wick Chapter 5?
Oh my god, if that could have been.
If that could have been that would have been awesome. But We're
God, they need to do a spinoff. They need to get Jackie Chan. Can you imagine if Jackie Chan's like one of the masters of like one of the seats at the table?
Mhm. I'd buy it.
See,
Yeah.
so quick side note, John Wick is the perfect franchise to make infinite spin-offs of because
Mhm.
they just made the coolest world possible. And I
Mhm.
can't wait for Ballerina. But like that final fight, which I wouldn't be surprised if you clocked it all in at like 20-25 minutes with it
Oh
all
yeah.
happening, is perfect storytelling because he takes down his father, and that adds that layer. And then you have his master getting involved. And then it is the fight between Wong, and you have him showing off his moves and slowly getting the upper hand and putting his opponent on their back foot and realizing I was like, oh, he's grown as a fighter. And then the devil's shadowless hand pulling in, and then the tide turns, and then Wong has to go into his bag of tricks and bring in all 8 of the drunken masters, which drunken Miss Ho is the best part of this.
Mhm.
Just Jackie Chan fully leading into that was absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
And him selling the physicality of it all.
All
And
right.
like
Yeah.
just his wrists so nimble.
It hurt me to watch some of the training sequences, but that it just again goes to show that if you're going to commit to this, like you gotta commit, and
Yeah.
you gotta be in the best shape like possible in order to make this feel authentic. And that's something that I just love about these martial arts movies is that
Mm.
look, from a story standpoint, I'm not watching this for story. I'm watching this to see someone get fucked up pretty
Yeah.
much. And
We watched this for the plot. Pictures of the plot is Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan.
exactly. So like these movies are now just like relics of the past because like we don't get movies like this anymore. Like we get them like from time to time,
They're
but
mostly it's mostly films that actually come out in China
mhm.
and Japan. And like I'm literally in the middle of watching a screener for The Prosecutor starring Donnie Yen,
Mm,
which is a Chinese film. And because thank you, Welgo USA,
there we go.
um, who hooks me up with a lot of Asian cinema. But like you have to seek it out at this point. Like this was pretty mainstream. Like people really enjoy like martial arts movies had their day. And the best we get at this point is like we do get like Mortal Kombat. And that's about it. Um, but like stuff like Kung Fu Hustle. If you have not watched Kung Fu Hustle, amazing.
Mhm.
Absolutely love that. But like, so Mike, I had my fun question that I had that I wanted to bring up. So for people around my age, maybe your age, I don't know like how big of Avatar the Last Airbender was for you, but like that was a pretty big deal for a lot of people our ages. And that was probably the biggest introduction to martial arts for a lot of kids.
I could see that. Yeah.
So, which nation are you?
Oh. If I am looking at it realistically, I'd probably be um I probably would be either water or an airbender. Cause like I'm not tough enough to be an earthbender, and I am most definitely not don't have the rage to be a firebender. I
My
just don't.
brother's a firebender, 100%.
Nice, nice. But um if I had the choice, I would probably be a waterbender, but I'd probably like my daughter and I had this conversation, and she was like, "What Harry Potter house would you be in?" And I was like, "Well, there's the house I'd want to be in, and then there's the house that I got placed in. Those are two completely separate things."
You tell.
Uh, I thought that I was gonna get put in Ravenclaw, but I got Hufflepuff, and I got sad.
Thought I was gonna be a Ravenclaw too, and then they gave me Gryffindor. I'm just like, I didn't expect that, but there you go.
I'll take it. Yeah, it's all good.
Well, I feel like Gryffindor is like the one that everybody wants to be in.
Everybody, well, yeah, because clearly everybody in the world is brave and the like. But yeah, like if I'm looking at all of the nations, like within Avatar, I think for sure I'd probably be an Airbender if I'm being perfectly honest.
I am Earthbender
Mm.
through and through. Just like the fighting style of very big, solid moves, and I'm just like, they're professional wrestlers.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the brawlers.
The boulder feels conflicted, which was WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley doing an impression of his friend Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Nice.
So, but I just thought that would be a fun little question to wrap this up, because like, also I would totally be like thinking of like Kung Fu Panda. I'm a Po 100%, and Food Foo is what he lives his life based on.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can get behind that. My HR team, they like, their big thing is they always say is like, our employees are our secret ingredient. And in the back of my head, I'm always like, there is no secret ingredient. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh, there is no secret ingredient.
Nothing. What a great lesson. I love Kung Fu Panda.
Me too.
So good.
I just wish that the fourth one was better.
Yeah.
That was some half-ass shit right there.
I would agree, and yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
But those were our thoughts on a couple of martial arts masterpieces of 70s martial arts flicks. But Mike, thank you as always for coming on and chatting movies with me.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Shane. Thanks for indulging me with my weird eclectic picks.
Oh, this was a fun. This in particular was a fun one. And thank all of you for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What's your favorite martial arts film, and why is it Mortal Kombat from the 1990s? Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lord Raiden. Or I could just rail off all of Kano's quotes right now, but I'm not going to. Go watch the movie instead. Also watch both of these movies. These were a lot of fun. Make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. We have a lot of great content on the SPDM Crew podcasting network. We have discussions about movies and television and music and sports, physical media, comics, and just chatting about life with Luke. So make sure to check it all out. It's fantastic. And if you want to get involved, make sure to reach out. And if you like our logo, make sure to check out HiFlyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew podcasting network.